Guys, we'll take questions please for Rodri first, and then we'll take questions for Pep afterwards. If I could ask please, if those questions could be put through the mic with your name and organisation for your question. Can I just check, do we have any questions in Croatian? No?
I'll speak in English, it's not a problem.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Rodri, Ben Ransom from Sky. The club has suffered key injuries at centre-half, and it's meant that Fernandinho's often had to play at the back. I just wondered, has that changed your role in the team at all and how you play?
For me?
Yeah. Because you sit in front of the defence.
No, I think it's a good thing. We have players that can play in many positions, like Dino, like Zinchenko, for example. It's a tough moment for the team because we lose some, good players and important players for the team. But this only make us be stronger for the next months. We have to be all together, and we know the situation, but it's not an excuse. We can't, give up in our challenge this year. So we have to keep going and keep fighting all the games. Personally, I think we have enough players to fit this problem, and we are working hard to win every game, even this situation.
This is now the 9th season that Manchester City have been in the Champions League. The club has grown in stature during that time. How much was a factor was that in you coming here? The size of the club, your aspirations to win this competition?
Well, fortunately, this is my second year I play this competition. Of course, I'm young, I don't have that experience, but Champions League is, for me, the greatest tournament. Is all the good clubs want to fight for it, and it's very, very tough. In the way that, for inches, for example, City last year they didn't logger, and you have to be focused 100% all the time. If not, you're out. So it's gonna be a good challenge for us. I think the team has, is very focused in this competition. We dream with this competition lots of years, and we have to be patient, but we have to go all the time because this competition is like this. You go out in the first, so we have to be focused all the time.
Rodri, hi, Sam from the Premier League. I was just wondering, obviously you've been here for a couple of months now, how are you finding life here in Manchester? How are you settling into England?
Very good. For me, well, I didn't know how I'm gonna fit in this city, but of course when you do what you love, when you are in the place you want to be, it's always easier, and I'm really happy to be here in Manchester, and I'm getting used to the city, to the fans, of course, they're great, and I like it because it's a small town. You can walk everywhere. Weather is not that good, but for me it's not a problem because, as I tell you, I'm really happy here, going training every day. We travel a lot, so we don't have the chance to be a lot in home. But for me, it's good.
Of course, you've played in the Champions League before. You've now played in the Premier League. What differences have you found between the two competitions in terms of the style of play?
Well, many things. I think I don't know which is better, but it's different. The way of playing, I saw the first games. Sometimes I'll be a bit relaxed because in Spain you have that chance, but here that you don't have that chance. They always try to stall the ball, and they're more aggressive. There's more speed of the ball. More comebacks, box to box, and that makes you be all the time alert. I think there's no. In Spain we call pausa, when you say, okay, slow down, that here's not that challenge. So, it's quite different. I need those first matches to adapt myself, but I like the competition. I like going small courts, small stadiums, and the environment is amazing. And for me, it's incredible playing this league.
Rodri, Simon Stone, BBC. Could you just compare your current manager, Pep Guardiola, with your previous manager, Diego Simeone? What are the differences? Because Simeone seems very expressive on the touchline.
Of course, the difference. They're two different trainers, coaches. Sorry. Of course, the way they work, but I think they'll be two of the greatest coaches in the last 10 years. Because of the success, the work, dedication, and for me it's been, a pleasure working with those two. And today I'm with Pep, so I'll try to learn a lot. The most thing I can learn about him, and that's the only thing I can say. That I'm lucky to train with these two coaches.
Hi, Rodri, up here. Fred Caldeira, Esporte Interativo Brasil. I just would like to check how's our relationship with Fernandinho, because you've been playing the position of one of the legends of this club. Now, because of the injuries, he's been playing behind you. So just how's the relationship with him on and off the pitch?
Yeah, of course, he's a very important player for the team. He's one of the captains. And for the first day I came here, he always helped me, teach me a little bit, how I have to fit in this position. It's not what I used to do because the league, the team, it's not easy to fit in this team. But he always tried to help me because he has a lot of experience. He has been top level player the last 6-7 years here in Manchester, and of course I have lots of things to learn about him. But I think the most important part of him is the way he fits on this team. He's a leader. He's one of the most experienced players in the team, and he's gonna help us to win the competitions. We need these guys because I'm young. I can be a good player, but I don't have that experience. So we need those players to, in bad moments, they give us the challenge to do the good thing, and he's gonna fit with me and with the team.
Rodri here, Stipe Antonijevic, Nova TV Croatia. I wanted to ask you, how much have you learned about Dinamo Zagreb in the last couple of days, and did it surprise you when you saw that they beat Atalanta 4-0 in the first leg, since Atalanta were the third team in the Serie A last season?
Of course, it was surprising, but for me it's not surprising because when you arrive Champions League, you're gonna find all good teams. Of course, there's no bad team here in Premier League, and you have to be always alert. And of course, Dinamo Zagreb, I play in his stadium when I play against Croatia, and the environments, the fans, is incredible. It shows it's a big team in Croatia, and we have to be focused if we want to win tomorrow the game. It's going to be very tough, and they score 4 goals, so that means they have good quality. I only know one player. It's I don't know. In Spain, and of course it's going to be very, very tough.
And that was my second question to you about Olmo.
Yeah.
How well do you know him? He's absolute, maybe the most important player of Dinamo Zagreb offensively. Of course, he's been great in Spain U21. How well do you know him? And
Well, Danny, I didn't meet him a lot. I think he's younger than me, but I saw him, and he has a good quality. And of course, we are lucky in Spanish to have this kind of players. I think he has a great future for the Spanish national team, and of course his club. I wish him all the luck, and yeah, tomorrow we'll face, but I think he has good quality.
Hi, Rodri. Sam Lee from The Athletic. You mentioned when speaking about Fernandinho how you've taken advice from him because this isn't your usual game. So in what ways have you had to adapt your game? Have you had to learn anything, change anything, so you can adapt to City and English football?
Well, many things. Of course, I'm never used to play this position. The way we play with lots of offensive players and not many defensive. Of course, I have to be focused all the time. But I like this position. I think it's the position I fit most, and I like growing, playing with these players around. Yeah, it's difficult the first matches, of course, but I'm getting used to, and by the development of the matches, I will be better, of course.
Is there anything specific that you've had to learn, such as position on the pitch, when to press, when not to?
Well, maybe the fact that I play alone with not other, defensive midfield, but it's the way we play and the way we want offensive players to score goals. So it's a challenge for me, and I have to read the games and learn about this position.
Last question before we.
Hi, Rodri. Paul Hurst from the Times. You and your last two managers are obviously played in this position that you played. How beneficial is that for you to kind of get the advice of Pep and Simeone?
Well, for me it's great because it's easier for them, for me to understand what he teach me, and it's all easier. I know the football changed by the development of the years, but he lived the same experience I live, so he can translate me his ideas, and I can take it easily because as you say, we play the same position.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Same drill for Pep, please. Name and organisation for your question.
Good afternoon, Pep. Ben from Sky. How much are you having to manage Fernandinho's game time at the moment? I remember last year you had to often manage his minutes, but he's at the moment the most experienced player that can partner Otamendi at centre-half. So is that something you really have to consider? For example, can he play 2 games in a week?
If he feels fit, yeah, can play. It depends a little bit on him in terms of physical regeneration after the games. When John is coming back, and we can make an alternative, and now we have young alternative. Rodri can play in that position, but we'll see. I think when he feels fit, last season was he started to struggle a little bit the last part of the last season, but before the previous season, play every 3 days during the season 11 months. So he was one of the players the most minutes he played. So it depends on him.
And you just mentioned there Rodri could play there. Is that something you've considered?
He can play there.
Yeah. Is that something you consider doing?
He can play there, yeah. If he can play there, I consider, of course.
Just Simon Stone, BBC. Just going back to Paul's point to Rodri earlier, do you pay special attention to people who played in or play in the position that you played in? Do you find it easy to tell them what to do, what you want them to do?
Well, obviously, I know a little bit more Mikel as well, our position, than winger position. I never make a dribbling in my career as a football player, so it's more difficult for me to tell them what I have to say, no? And some details, but at the end, the players, when Rodri came here, they were with another managers, and we took over what they learned for another experiences, so I'm pretty sure our benefit that Rodri worked with Simeone in the past is great, because I'm pretty sure because Simeone always play in that position, know exactly what they have to do in many aspects. So at the end, the players is not they come and you do everything. So most of them was in exceptional managers in the past. If they were curious and they try to understand the benefits, always you take it. So, and that is what happened. But of course we can help them, Mikel, myself, in that position a little bit longer, because we know that position quite well.
Pep Samashu from the Premier League. I know you're short at centre-back, but when you look at the team, I guess, that you played against Preston, what an opportunity this is for some of the younger players, for Taylor and Eric. What have you maybe said to them about potentially being in this Champions League squad?
Can play. They are here, they can play. So there are moments, of course, we can use them. So it's not problem, no doubt about that. So I think we see them. So one, Taylor is quite good with the ball, but it's central defender, likes to win the duels, fouled in the aerial balls. And Eric is so clever. His build up, his quality of the pass, his intelligence. What is going on is top. So if Don will not be here, not for absence of central defender, we're going to put central defenders like they are not able to play. So it's no sense. They are there because they can. After that, they have to make a selection. It depends of the games, and maybe play one more game, maybe don't play one more game. So we will see.
I know you don't always like to single out players for individual praise, but Riyad Mahrez's performance, it was arguably man of the match on Saturday. How important will he be for you going forward this season now?
It's so important. Always, all the players we won here, we won their best, and he's playing. He's been so decisive, no? Yeah, it's clinical. So defensively, his commitment is higher than the last season, and offensively, every time something happens close the 18-yard box, you have the feeling that is going to create something, and it's going to happen. So that's good. Hopefully, he can maintain level for a long time.
Stipe Antonijević, Mr. Guardiola, Nova TV, Croatia. I wanted to ask you, how well have you gotten to know Dinamo Zagreb's team? Have you watched the Atalanta game since Dinamo's coach Bjelica in that game, first time ever, took out 5 men in the defense? Do you expect the same, or maybe a little bit more offensive Dinamo squad? How well do you know them?
Well, it was not bad. Playing 5 at the back and score 4 goals is not bad. So honestly, I don't know. We will prepare for both options, but I think the idea is clear. It's an incredibly intense team, so aggressive, especially in the middle. The long balls with a striker and second balls, they are so strong, and when you lose the ball, they are fast players in the counter-attack. So it was a warning. So they're able to beat Atalanta, but last season finished third, but this season is third and not far away from Juventus and Inter de Milan, with the same manager, and they doing incredible well in Italy. And Italy is a tough league, and they are able to beat them 4-0. So it's enough warning to say, be careful, guys. Of course, we play at home, and the next 2 games we have an incredible challenge to making a step great to settle the Champions League in February there. But still, we have a job to do. We prepare. We try to discover what they do, because the players don't know them still. Today, now in a few minutes, we're going to talk about, or we're going to introduce them, what belief Dinamo Zagreb is as a team, and we'll see.
Just as Rodri, I suppose you've heard of Dani Olmo before, considering he's been great, especially in this summer, leading Spain to the European Under-21 champions. How do you see him as a player, or do you see him as a main threat of Dinamo Zagreb?
Well, I think he was in the academy from Barcelona in the past. So, and normally the players, Barcelona were there always. They are good talent players, but they had the courage to go to Croatia, where it's not usual for Spanish players, and he set up perfect. And under 21 was one of the best players. He played behind the striker in the both sides. He's a incredible work ethic forwards and backwards, and especially talent in front. So I'm happy for him.
And my last question to you, Mr. Guardiola, it's not really restricted only to Dinamo Zagreb, but how highly do you rate Croatian footballers in general? And I'm not thinking only of this generation that last summer took second place in the World Club play finals against France, but generally, maybe in your playing time, do you think of them as technically gifted? Do you remember some player maybe from your time or this time that really impressed you?
I think not just from the Croatia, I think for the ex-Yugoslavia, Croatia now, Serbia, Montenegro, in this ex-Yugoslavia, in these countries, all the sports are top, in basketball, in handball, in football, they are incredible competitors in terms of mentality. They are so aggressive. What happened on the pitch, they fight like as a brothers for the teammates, and after they can discuss, but there, so it's typical from there, and tennis, in all the sports, they are incredible talent. So it happened years ago, it happened now, not just generation now for Rakitic, Modric and Mandzukic and the other ones before with Suker.
98 thing,
yeah. Yeah, in that. So for a small country like Croatia, final for the World Cup was incredible success. So that means how good natural talent I think they have in all your country. So
any player that really sticked out in your brain, maybe impressed you in your career?
Well, there are many. So Davor Suker, Mijatovic, there are, a lot of players. So, but not specific. So.
Thank you very much.
Hi Pep, David McDonald from the Daily Mirror. When the draw was made, I think you said that if you don't win this competition, again, you'll be the same guy. It won't change your life. Why is that? Because having won 2 Premier Leagues, 2 League Cups and the FA Cup, this is the one competition yet to win at this club for you. So why do you feel that way about it?
So way about if I would change if I win or win this competition?
But you were saying that if you don't win this tournament again, it won't matter to you. You'll be the same guy. It won't change your life.
No matter, I want to win this tournament, but if I don't win, I'm going to change my life. So I'm not going to kill myself, promise you. So I will try to do my best for the next period. So I think in my first press conference in my first year here in Manchester, in my first press conference before the Champions League game, it was the same question. So you are here to win the Champions League, and I said, okay. I spoke a few times with Khaldoun, our chairman, with Ferran. They didn't tell me that, but so they tell me we come here to continue a project, start with Chiki and Rodon, some people here, to try to involve what Pellegrini has done, to try to play good football and try to start to win one game, and after another one, and after another one, and we will see how far we arrive. But they didn't tell me, but the people want to win it, and especially the fans want to win it too, because the fans must know in that competition. Without them, without the nice environments at home, it's impossible. So we cannot do it alone, it's impossible. I have a little bit experience on that. Even with incredible supporting, you are not able to win it, but it's impossible to arrive and play that competition without the feeling that we want to do it, we are able to do it. 11 players or squad or the desire for just the cup, instructor the cup is not possible. And we are going to try in our football to seduce our fans to come here and say, okay, we can do it. And we are going to try, because we tried for the first season when we were out for goal difference. We tried the third season when we were out for goal difference. So of course we're going to try it again, but honestly, I would be happier. But not going to change my private life, my intention, what we have done, if I get it or not get it. If I don't get it, then get it. Next one, we're going to try it, and hopefully we can do it.
But having proved yourself domestically as the best team in England for the last 2 years and won the other competitions, is it not the logical next step for this team, the next progression for this team?
Yeah.
To be champions of Europe?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But sometimes cannot be possible. It will be another one. Sometimes you take a few years, sometimes you take longer. So I said many times, Barcelona is my club of my heart. 92 won the first one, 92. And Barcelona was born long time ago. Sometimes we need, Barcelona use competition, European competition every season since they were born. Barcelona was born. Here, no. So competitions for European competitions for a short time. And you say, how is influence on that? They take influence. In the important games, the decisions, the many situations take his influence. So that's why, of course, you're going to try it. But I'm sorry, I'm not going to leave the next 10 months and next season the next month, 11 months. Every day, thinking if I don't win the Champions League will be a disaster of my life, because my life and our life is quite good. So, and every single day.
Hello, Pep. Stuart Brennan, MEN. You talked about Taylor Harwood-Bellis as a player. Were you aware of the video of him in the City away, and what do you think of that?
I was fan to Barcelona when I was a teenager. Always I went there to watch the games. I was not in the crowd with the fans and singing the songs, because in Barcelona there are not songs. At least in my period. Now there are few, but in my period there was not songs. No, it was woo, but not songs. But it's nice. I like it. I like the players like Commit here, like Phil. So it's good. You have the connection with our fans and our I think he's a guy with 70 years old. I think will be central defender for this club or for the Premier League. I have that feeling right now. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully he can work with the way he's working. And because the period is difficult, is be able to play in the first team in Carabao Cup or Premier League, and have to go to the academy the week after and play there the same way. That is the most difficult. But I think Eric has done many times. Taylor can do it, and Adrià Bernabé, for example, Tommy Doyle. So the players are here in that position. I think they are so well positioned.
Is that just as important in the academy to bring a love of the club as well as teach them how to play football?
Yeah, of course, but sometimes it's not easy, because it's a club and the people ask to win and win and win. Sometimes you need to respect the process. What I don't want, or we don't want, is take one player in the first team, play 1 or 2 or 3 games and after disappear. That is what we don't want. That's why we have to sometimes, the people is difficult to understand it, but sometimes respect the process. And one is built. And sometimes tough moments for the young players is really good. Really good. Because we want to stay 10 years here, or 12 years here and make a career. And his time for these players we believe in there arrive. I promise you, arrive. Because the decisions we are taking, always they are thinking the next step is for them. The next step is for them. And see, Taylor and Eric has helped us a lot when I said, central defender for the international break. That is not going to happen, because if you have a problem, Taylor and Eric is going to play. And we're going to see. In summertime, they are able, and maybe they surprise us, because the young players, the first step, they go to the first team, so always say, I have doubts. And most of the time say, wow, we can trust them. You know that? So that's why. That's why it's what we want to do, because I lived that when I was young as a manager, and I think that is the best way to help them, to make a next step.
Okay, last couple guys, Jamie.
Hi Pep, I'm Jamie Jackson from The Guardian. You use the word seduce then, about seduce the fans to sort of get behind you properly with regard to the Champions League. Why do you need to seduce them? What's the challenge there? Why are they not into it completely?
Not seduce, just so the fans come to watch the stadium when we saw, or when they can imagine what we are going to watch. They prefer to go to Etihad Stadium than stay at home. And the only way to seduce them is play good. It's winning games, but play good. So go there and say, okay, I'm going to have fun 90 minutes. We're going to see good action for our players. That is the best way. That is what we're working with. So every single day. So we work for them, but not just in the Premier, in all competitions. So I know for the fans is the Premier League here in England is the most exciting. So we know as a club that we make a polls, and the people prefer by far the third Premier League than the win the Champions League. So here in England, I know how special it is. But this competition is nice too, and our fans, I think so. They have to live this competition like a dream, like a Sky partner. As before, so it's the 7 or 8 or 9 times in a row we are there in the competition in a row. That is top.
It's not completely true though, because if you're a fan of Liverpool or United, for example, you want to win the league and you want to win the Champions League kind of equally. So why is it the City fans are not quite there then with the Champions League?
I don't know. Really, honestly, I don't know.
You're an intelligent man. You have any theories?
I am intelligent, yeah, but but I don't have theories. I don't have theory. No, that's true. But that one I'm talking about, you don't believe me, that is excuse and I thought that is a reality of our club. In our club, you have to accept it, handle it. What you can do? seduce them and being there, so maybe they realize how important. I think the opinion is because in the past, for the old generation, they were never, they were not there. So in Liverpool United, with a lot of Champions League in the Kevin Trophy, it used to be there. So our club is not even trying to change it. We were at home in the bars, drinking a beer, watching Liverpool and United there. So but not for a few years, for decades, but decades. And that means in the culture of the club, you know. And now really, we are there again and again and again. And I had the feeling we are making steps as a club that what I would not like is win the Champions League one season, arrive in the finals, and disappear for the next 5 years. That would not be good. So one more title there. Important is being there and try to do it like we have tried in the previous season, when I had the feeling every time we are closer. But as I said many times, this competition is incredible high level of the teams, and everything can happen. So important is being there and trying, and the only way is say to our fans, come to join us, come to the stadium and support us and make a stadium full. And in the bad moments it happened that competition support us, because these guys deserve it, what we have done in the last especially 2 seasons. And incredible players like David Silva, the quickest players to win 200 victories in the Premier League history. So these players are fantastic. It's awesome. They are outrageous. So they are top, and that's why I think they deserve it in that competition. Every single game, feel that they wanna win. They wanna make a step forward too. Not only desire for the manager, staff, chairmen, people working in the club. We need the fans. You know that competition is more difficult. It's almost impossible.
Hi Pep, Sam Lee from The Athletic. Just a question about Otamendi. When he played as part of that season, when you won the 100 points, he played a lot of games, played consistently, and you praised him a lot. Last season didn't play so much. Now, with the injuries, he's going to, I guess, play pretty much every game. Are those the best conditions for him, when he plays every game, when he's better in the team?
No, for him, see, because even Nico has a special, incredible quality that even his knee is broken, or he has one finger broken, he goes there. So it's one of the huge competitors I've seen. He's a guy, he doesn't tolerate too much doesn't play. So last season I spoke to him, he played. The 100 point was top, that's why we pushed a lot to Chiqui to extend his contract. The last season he played in the first part of the season a lot as well, but we had Laporte in the left side, like has a special quality with left foot, my opinion about Aymeric. And the right side, so have Jones, Nico and Vini for that position. And the part of the season, Vini was incredible, top level. At the end it was the reason, but my opinion about him remains the same. Now in the position they have, the same with Dino, now with Otamendi, so he has to make, but I don't think so. He has a problems to play regularly. His regeneration is good, mentality is good, so that's why he can play.
Is it better for him on the right-hand side, or is that just because you can use Fernandinho? Okay.
It's better in the right because the right foot. Yeah, with right foot can play there and there. With right foot playing left, he just can play there. He cannot play there. So it's a little bit handicap from him. Yeah, of course.
Hi Pep, Andy Hampson from PA. Just to check, how is everybody after the Everton game?
I have the training in a few minutes. So yesterday everybody was fit. You have to know something. I want to make a secret. Before the Champions League game, everybody's fit. I don't know why, but everybody feels, even has a lot of problems, they don't tell them. So I'm fit. So for the next game, don't ask me in Champions League, okay?
Right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Ciao, guys.